Hey everyone, it's Matt here with Nightrun Studio, and in our first video we got our Quest user interface all set up, including these quest slot prefabs which hold the quest name and level of the quest. Now at this point, it's all pretty boring and doesn't do much, so in this video we're going to add the foundation of our quest system by creating quest scriptable objects. For now, these will just hold the name, level, and description of the quest, but they'll have much more down the road. We'll also set things up so that we can add these scriptable objects to our quest slots in order to dynamically populate their data. That's where we're headed in this video. Let's get started. Alright, so the very first thing we're going to do is head down to our scripts folder and create a new folder called Quest System. Here, I'll create a new C# script, or mono behavior if you're using Unity 6, and we'll call this one QuestSO. Let's go ahead and open that up. So first of all, scriptable objects do not inherit from mono behavior, so we're just going to change that here at the top. We'll then get rid of our start and update method since those don't actually run in scriptable objects. Next, we want to be able to create these in-game, so let's have a create asset menu field here at the top, and whenever we make a new one, we'll just default it so the file name will be QuestSO, and the menu name that we'll click on when we want to create one will also be QuestSO. With that done, we can now come down to our project folder, right-click, and go to Create, and there should now be a QuestSO option, which when you click on, creates a new scriptable object called QuestSO. Great, this is working. Let's just give this one a default name for now, and we'll just make a dummy quest here called Quest, like the video. Now, scriptable objects work as sort of data containers, so let's actually make some data for them to contain. We'll start with a public string called quest name, as well as another public string called quest description, though we want to have a little bit of room to write in the inspector, so let's add a text area here. With that done, we can click on the scriptable object in Unity, give it a name, and we've got lots of room to write a description. With that done, we now want to make it so these scriptable objects can actually do something. So let's create our second and last script for this video, which will be our quest log slot. Let's begin by getting rid of the start and update methods, and then up at the top here, we're just going to make a serialized private field, which is going to hold the TextMesh Pro that will display the name of the quest. Now our script doesn't have access to TextMesh Pro by default, so we'll just add the namespace using TM Pro, and then we're going to make one more of these serialized fields for our quest level text. The last field we need for now is a public quest scriptable object, which is just going to hold the current quest that is attached to this slot. Now we can actually make it do something. So let's come down below here where we're going to make a public void method, which will be called setQuest. This one will take in a scriptable object, which we'll call QuestSO, and that's how we're going to feed scriptable objects into each slot. Now, once we do that, we're just going to set it so that its current quest scriptable object is equal to the QuestSO that just got passed in. We'll make it so the quest name text, so that's our TextMesh Pro, actually has its text set to be whatever the name is of this quest scriptable object. And we'll also make the level text's text equal to whatever level we set as our QuestSO's level. Now you'll notice that when I set up the QuestSO, I forgot to put a level field, so we'll just pop in there, make a public integer called questLevel, and now that'll work just fine. That said, we do have to convert that integer to a string, so we'll just add the toString function at the end here. And I want to get a little fancy. I don't just want a number to appear, so here I'll just concatenate this by putting quotation marks, level with a space, and then we'll add the actual integer for the quest level. Now eventually we'll get these quests through NPCs and that sort of thing, but since we don't have that set up and we want to be able to test, we're just going to add a private void onValidate method, which we'll call setQuest and pass along whatever scriptable object we give it. Before we go any further, I'll just click on my scriptable object and make sure it has a level. This one seems like a high level quest, so let's give it 99. On that, we can click on our quest slot and let's open up our prefab. Here we can add the quest log slot script, and we've just got some boxes to fill in, so let's drag our TextMesh Pro into these. Now when you leave this, you'll find that we've got a ton of error messages. That's our onValidate method, which is angry with us for changing stuff but not actually giving it a current quest to run with. Now we won't even be using this method long term, so that's really not a big deal, but let's add a defensive check anyways, as it's just good practice, so that now if our current quest is not null, it will set the quest, otherwise it's not going to try to do anything. Alright, and that took care of those errors. Now we can just test this out by actually clicking on a quest slot and dragging a scriptable object into its current quest to make sure that it updates. Looks good. Now, obviously, we don't want to be doing this in the inspector. We'll want NPCs and other objects to do this in the game, but we'll get there. That said, in our next video, we're gonna start adding some objectives to our quests so that we can actually track whether or not we're completing them. I hope to see you in that next video. Until then, this is Matt with Nightrun Studio. Cheers.